Today we're going to be talking about foundational facts and derived fact strategies for addition. To start off, fluency develops in 3 phases. The first phase we often think of as students counting with their fingers, or rote counting, or using counters. The final stage where we want to get to, phase 3, is mastery, where it's automatic, there's quick strategy recall, students say they just know it right away. But what we're often missing is that middle phase. What comes in between counting by our fingers and that mastery? And that phase is deriving. Deriving is when we use reasoning strategies based on foundational facts to derive new facts. Let's look at what those foundational facts are so we can support students in developing foundational facts and then eventually derived facts. So, some foundational facts. Plus 0 is a foundational fact, so knowing that 6 plus 0 makes 6. That one is super foundational. Often this one is taught in context. Another foundational fact is any fact that is plus 1 or plus 2. These facts require students to count on. So if the fact was 6 plus 1, a student might know, 6, and the next number that comes after that is 7. Or if I'm doing 4 plus 2, I have 4, 5, 6. 6 is my answer. Counting on makes it a lot faster than counting all, which would be if you start at the beginning and said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. Another foundational fact set is doubles. So we have some examples on the screen here. 3 plus 3, 7 plus 7, 5 plus 5. These facts are ones that students do need to memorize, but they are often ones that are easier to memorize. Students often do well with doubles, and we'll see in a moment how doubles facts support us deriving near doubles facts. Another foundational fact set is combinations of 10. So some examples, any 2 addends that equal 10, so 6 plus 4, 3 plus 7, 5 plus 5. And as shown on the screen here, often 10 frames help us develop these combinations of 10, being able to really clearly see if I have 6, 4 is the number that goes with that to make 10. There are 4 more spaces on the 10 frame. So these foundational facts that we've talked about, we have our plus zeros, 1 more, 2 more, doubles, and then combos of 10. As we look at our addition table here, we see a lot of this table is filled in just by those foundational facts that are generally easier for students to learn. But what about the rest of those facts, right? These are hard facts often for students to learn. That's where derived fact strategies come in. When we're deriving fact strategies, we're using the foundational facts we know to derive new facts. Let's look at some examples. These are the 3 strategies based on foundational facts that we're going to be diving into today. Near doubles, make a 10, and create equivalent but easier known sums. The first one, near double, is one that's generally familiar. If I'm trying to figure out 8 plus 7, and I know 7 plus 7 is 14, I can do 1 more to get 15. Or if I know 8 plus 8, and 1 less than that is 15, I can also figure out 8 plus 7. This one requires us to know our doubles facts first, as well as to have counting on and counting back skills. The next derived fact strategy is make a 10. Make a 10 is when we use our ability to decompose numbers to make a 10 to make the addition easier. So again, same problem, 8 plus 7. Let's say if I know that 8 plus 2 makes 10, that's one of my combinations of 10 that I need to know. I can split 7 up part into 2 and 5. My 8 plus 2 is going to fill in that 10 frame. That's my combination of 10, and then I have 5 left over to get to 15. That requires the combinations of 10 and flexibly decomposing numbers. The last one is one that is really personalized based on students' preferences, and that is using equivalent but easier known sums. So again, for 8 plus 7, let's say there was a student who really loved 8 plus 4. That was one of their favorite facts, and they just knew that from memory, and they could look at 8 plus 7 and say, ooh, that's like 8 plus 4, but I have 3 more, so I know it's going to be 15. That's going to be different for every student, but we want to encourage students to use the strategies that make sense for them. And remember, easier means for an individual student. Two students might have two very different strategies. Now let's look at that same table again once we use our derived facts strategies. So our foundational facts, remember, are +0, +1, +2, doubles, combos of 10, and then when we move to derived fact strategies, we have our near doubles, and then facts that could be found using make a 10 strategy. And creating equivalent but easier known sums is not shaded in here because that's personalized to individual students. After we filled in that whole fact chart, the only facts that were left were 5 plus 3, 6 plus 3, and then 3 plus 5, and 3 plus 6. And if we have commutative property down, that's really only 2 facts that we need to know, right? Because if we know 5 plus 3, hopefully we know 3 plus 5. 2 facts that were left to memorize, but all the rest can be derived using fact strategies. Also worth mentioning, kindergarten, our fluency goal is to have within 5, so this red line, this staircase here, shows you the set of facts that kindergarten students are expected to know by the end of the year. All of the ones shaded in for that fit into foundational facts. By the end of first grade, we should be to 10. Most of those facts are either foundational or derived, with the exception of 5 plus 3 and 6 plus 3. And then by the end of second grade, we should have within 20, and that would be a lot of facts that you can use make a 10 for. How do we support students in developing these facts? Once students know foundational facts, and we want to really check which facts they know, because it's not just how many facts they know, it's which facts they know. So once students are solid in their foundational facts, that's when we can move along to derived fact strategies. So if they have combos of 10, we could introduce the make a 10 strategy. If a student has their doubles facts, we could introduce the near doubles when they are ready. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great day.